Tonight, a quiet American neighborhood becomes the center of a national debate. Two workers, federal agents, and neighbors who refused to stay silent. Cameras came out, questions were asked, and suddenly a routine stop turned into a powerful confrontation. This is not just a local incident. This is a story about civil rights, federal authority, and how far enforcement can go in public spaces. Good evening. We begin tonight with a developing story out of Downey, California, where residents confronted U.S. Border Patrol agents who were attempting to detain two landscapers in a residential neighborhood. The incident, captured on video and now widely shared online, is raising serious questions about constitutional rights, federal enforcement tactics, and the power of bystanders to hold authorities accountable. Where and what happened? Downey, California, a working-class city in Los Angeles County. On what appeared to be an ordinary day, two landscapers were doing their job outside a home when Border Patrol vehicles arrived at the scene. Agents approached the workers and attempted to detain them. Within minutes, nearby residents noticed what was happening and stepped outside. What the video shows. Video recorded by neighbors shows a growing crowd standing at a distance, calmly observing and filming. Residents can be heard asking direct questions. Why are these men being detained? Do you have a warrant? What law are they accused of breaking? The tone is firm, but not violent. No physical interference, just cameras, voices, and public scrutiny. Neighbors step in. One by one, more neighbors gather. Some remind agents that the men are working. Others assert the right to record law enforcement in public. The message from the community is clear. Transparency matters. This moment reflects a growing awareness among residents about their rights and the limits of government authority. Border Patrol response. Border Patrol agents identify themselves as federal officers and state they are acting within their authority. However, in the video, agents do not publicly explain the specific reason for the detention or whether they have probable cause. That lack of clarity is what fuels the tension. Legal questions emerge. Legal experts say this incident highlights a critical issue. While Border Patrol has expanded authority near U.S. borders, that authority is not unlimited. Officers must still follow the Constitution. They must have reasonable suspicion or probable cause to detain someone. What the Constitution says, under the Fourth Amendment, people are protected from unreasonable searches and seizures. That protection applies regardless of immigration status. Experts emphasize that being a laborer, speaking another language, or appearing to be an immigrant is not a legal reason for detention. Legal expert analysis. Civil rights attorneys point out that stops based on appearance or occupation could be considered unlawful profiling. They also stress that members of the public have a legal right to observe and record law enforcement as long as they do not interfere. This case, they say, may test those boundaries. Community fear and impact. For many residents, this incident is deeply personal. Immigrant communities say these encounters create fear, even among people who have committed no crime. Workers worry about being targeted simply for doing their jobs. Neighbors worry about what kind of authority is being exercised on their streets. Reaction online. Since the video was posted, it has been viewed hundreds of thousands of times. Some praise the neighbors for standing up calmly and legally. Others defend federal enforcement efforts. But nearly everyone agrees. The video forces a conversation. The bigger questions. This story raises larger issues. Where does federal authority begin and end? How much explanation do officers owe the public? And what role do citizens play when they witness enforcement actions? In today's America, a smartphone can change the balance of power. Current status. As of now, it is unclear whether the two landscapers were formally arrested or released. Border Patrol has not yet issued a detailed public statement explaining the incident. Local leaders and advocacy groups are calling for transparency. Closing. What happened in Downey was more than a single enforcement action. It was a moment where everyday people used their voices and cameras to demand accountability. And as this video continues to circulate, the questions it raises are unlikely to fade anytime soon. We will continue to follow this story closely. Thank you for watching.